that whole saying of paying yourself first. You have to take care of all that other stuff first, your savings first. Then what's left over, that's what you get to spend. People want to do it all in the reverse order. I'm going to save you some time right now that it doesn't work that way. Okay? So, quick question for you. Do you know what 5 bank accounts you need to have to fund your future? Well, guess what? I'm going to let you know today on this episode of the Thank Me Later Show with me, your host, Jini Thornton. Welcome to another episode of the Thank Me Later Show with me, your host, Jini Thornton, where I will help you master your money and transform your life. And the transformation that we're going to focus on today, y'all, funding your future and the 5 bank accounts you should have to do that. So as I talk to you about this, I'm going to speak to most of y'all as individuals, but I'm also going to make sure that I give some advice for entrepreneurs too. So just want to start by saying this is exactly how my life is set up for real, for real. So I'm not telling y'all to do something that I don't do personally. All right. So here are the 5 bank accounts you need to have. Number 1, you need to have your everyday spending bank account. So this is the account that you're going to pay your bills out of. Maybe you're going to have your auto pay set up this way. So your utilities, your car insurance, like the money that you have to spend to run your life, your household, your family, whoever's in your household, whatever you got going on at home. This is your operating account. Okay. This is your operating account. Preferably, maybe this should be a checking account, but you want to have an operating account. So whether it's you or even if this is for your business, you want to have this separate operating account. That's account number 1. Account number 2. This is your emergency account. Okay. Now, I know we all going to define emergency a little differently, but this is money that you have set aside when your life begins to life a little bit. Okay. When life begins lifing, and we know that that's going to happen. This is your emergency savings account. You can have this for your business too. Now, where you want to make sure that you do not get yourself in trouble is how do you define an emergency? Okay, because emergency does not mean your favorite store is having a sale. That's not an emergency. That's not an emergency. But maybe it is you're having some sort of auto repair, car breaks down. Maybe you've had some medical challenge. I want to make sure you have a very, very specific list for, again, these said emergencies. Number 3. You have absolutely positively have to have some sort of retirement account. You have to have a retirement account. So whether this is through your employer, which you may have some sort of 401k or 403b. If you work for the state, a school system, the government, you might have a 403b, or if you're an entrepreneur and maybe you do work for another company, you may have an IRA, that individual retirement account. Y'all, I need you to treat this just like your emergency fund. You have got to have the habit of funding it regularly. Even if you can only do $5 a paycheck, $10 a paycheck, but you have got to fund this IRA, retirement account, again, whatever type of account it is, because guess what? You are going to be responsible for your own retirement. You cannot live off of Social Security. So remember back in the day, your parents or grandparents, they could afford to do that. Can't do that anymore. All right. So that 3rd account is your retirement account. Account number 4. This is for those of you who have children, or maybe you have a relative that you want to help support when it comes to their education. So account number 4 is some sort of 529 account. So a 529 account, they're amazing. Had them for both of our kids. You use this money, you allocate money to the side to pay for college, and you can also use it for private school now, which is really, really good. Private school is expensive. You can, if you fund the account for one kid and one kid doesn't use up all the money, another child or another family member, or even you can use that money. Okay. So it's not just for college. It can be for private school. So account number 4 is 529. All right. And then the last account, account number 5, this is your savings account for a specific goal. So maybe you're planning a particular trip. Maybe you want to buy a new house. You want to get a new car. So this is for kind of a large purchase, but you want to have that money kind of separated. You can't have it in the mix with your operating account. It's not an emergency, but you want to intentionally save for something that's really, really, really important to you, really important to a family member, whatever it is. This is the account that you do this. And the reason why I like this separation is because now it gives you visibility to everything. Because when you have one account, everything is all together. You don't know like what the money, like what's the job of that particular money. Now, when you begin to separate it, you're like, oh, okay, I've saved $4,000 towards my new car. Okay, I'm doing good. I have $8,000 in my emergency savings. I have $25,000, $50,000, whatever it is in my IRA. Now you know where everything is and what its intended job. So that's really, really important. All right. So for those of you entrepreneurs, same thing. Let me tell you what business accounts that I have. I have an operating account. I have a savings account. I have a retirement account, one that we're specifically funding for retirement. I have one for taxes. And then I also have another bank account that's called for profit. So once a month, and I learned this from the book Profit First by Michael Michalowicz, where you just do this formula, have this formula, what percentage of the money that we receive in income, how much goes into each account. So now when it's time to fund retirement, I have the money for that. When it's time to pay taxes, I have the money for that. I have some money in savings if we need to make an investment, buy some new equipment, whatever that is, because each separate bank account has a particular job. It's super important that you do that. So before I go to the Thank Me Later hotline, because we have a question today, I want to tell you how to fund these accounts real quick. So this is some quick tips. If you are a normal W-2 employee, right? So that means you're getting paid from your employer. I would literally at the employer level have each amount going separately to each bank account. Don't leave that job up to yourself because you probably are not going to do it. So you need to have a set amount that's going to your emergency savings, set amount that's going into operating, set amount that's going to each particular account, and you do that automatically. Okay. So automation is your friend when it comes to saving. Automation, and then of course, separation. That's again why you want to have everything specifically divided up so you will have that particular visibility. All right, y'all. So I'm going to go to the Thank Me Later hotline real quick for a question.
Hi, Jini. My name is Judy. How do you save for the future if you don't feel like you have enough money for now?
Well, thank you for that call, Judy. And people ask me this all the time. And one thing that I've learned when I really get to talk to people about their finances, and I'm asking some very specific questions, they don't have the visibility, meaning I'm like, how much do you spend on groceries? How much is your car insurance? How much are certain things? People don't know. They don't know because a lot of times I don't think people really want to know. Like they kind of have their head down and they're just kind of going through the motion. So it's going to be very difficult to save until you're willing to have the visibility, like literally look at what is coming in and exactly what is going out. Because see, that's where the opportunity is. Because now you could say with that visibility, like, whoa. I am not nearly making enough money to support my life. I'm not making enough money. Or like, why am I spending this much money on whether it's subscriptions or, wow, I need to get my car insurance down. This house, this apartment that I live in, you know what? I'm either going to need to get a roommate. I'm going to have another source of income. You have to have that visibility first. Once you have that visibility, then you can begin to slowly save. One thing that I've seen people do, if they can't save a significant amount, and we can all define significant differently, then they won't save anything. Versus saying, let me start wherever I can start. And I think that was a game changer for me personally, was when I was at the beginning of my journey on entrepreneurship, and we were like not struggling, but we were struggling financially. When I began just to save a very small amount, I'm like, okay, no matter how much money I bring in, I have to put 2% of that away, 5% of that away, whatever that is. When I started to do that, that momentum helped. So that may not have been $100 per pay period, but if I could afford 10, then I did 10. And then I was slowly able to just increase that. So no matter how much you make, that whole saying of paying yourself first, you have to take care of all that other stuff first, your savings first, then what's left over, that's what you get to spend. People want to do it all in the reverse order. I'm going to save you some time right now that it doesn't work that way. Okay? It doesn't work that way. So real quick, I'm going to tell you your 5 accounts again. You need your operating account for your everyday spending, your emergency fund, your retirement account, your educational account, that 529 account, if you have someone in your life that you need to be saving for college or for private school. And then last, your savings for your specific goal. All right. So I hope that was helpful. I know that was quick. And let me know if you have any questions. Please engage with me on social media at Jini Thornton or at TML Money. If you want me to give you some specific direction, or you're like, ooh, Jini, I need some more detail. One thing that I just thought about that I didn't mention earlier before I wrap up. Another thing that may help you a lot, we talked about the automation, separation. You may need to have your savings account or your emergency fund account at a completely different bank that you do not have online access to. Okay? That can change your whole life. I need to withdraw right now money from my savings account. I'm going to have to get in my car and drive over there to do that. You know how long I've been putting that off, because I'm like, when in the heck am I going to get that done? When you can go online and make that transfer real fast, you're always tapping your savings over and over again. So remember, automation and separation. So before I go, I want to make sure I share a few resources with you. Number one, please check out the Thank Me Later community. You can go to thankmelater.money and please engage with our True Few community. We have a ton of amazing resources, free resources for you out there. Now, if you need help with setting up like an IRA account or like a money market account, I would check out something like Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab. Fees are really, really low. Technology is very, very easy to use, and you can start with a small amount and go ahead and get in the game. If you need any resources related to budgeting, you can check out YNAB. You need a budget. You can check out Good Budget, Pocket Guard. These are all good resources or apps that you can use to help you with your budgeting. And then check also with your bank. A lot of times they have really good online resources to help you track your spending, not just the online banks, but your bank, whomever you bank with, just their online platform may be a good resource to you. Okay. And then for the 529, you just check your state. Your child can still go to school out of state for college, but you can just use your specific state 529 plan and go ahead and get that funded. Whew, okay. So thank you for tuning in to the Thank Me Later show with me, your host, Jini Thornton. I hope we help you transform your finances today. Again, you can engage with me on social media at Jini Thornton or at TML Money. And thank you again for tuning in with us. We will see you next episode.